to the Minister, noting the references to strategy, is I want to understand what pai ora means to the Minister. Can you explain what pai ora means?
Well, the Pai Ora Act means healthy futures for New Zealanders, and we are making sure that we're delivering on that through our 5 health targets.
Pai ora means a bit more than that if you know tā Mason jury and you've read the Act. Now, if we can look to what pai ora means for thriving, healthy individuals, whānau and community, how do you believe that your budget's going to deliver on these things that pai ora has promised New Zealanders?
Because we have 5 health targets which are focused on delivery for patients. And as I said earlier, the last government removed the health targets and every single one of them went backwards. And I think about the immunisation target, which went back significantly, and the impact that that has had on our Māori children in Tamariki. That is an abject failure of the previous government. And I'm proud to see that the numbers are starting to trend back up in the right direction because we've put the target back in place. We're holding primary healthcare organisations accountable, and we are focusing back on what really matters. So that is where we are seeing delivery. And my role as Minister of Health and the funding that this budget puts into healthcare is to continue that focus for all New Zealanders.
Okay,
So the Minister, it's an ongoing.
The left is so
Can I ask that
anti-vax.
SUPs actually be SUPs on the primary? This is now a question around pai ora.
Excellent. Thank you, Minister. And you have been talking about ballooning wait lists, and we've been talking about healthcare allowing people to thrive. And I think you said the wait time for elective surgeries increased over 2,000%. Was this why elective boost was necessary?
Look, absolutely why elective boost was necessary, because actually people are waiting too long for those treatments. Hips, knees, cataract operations, people are waiting too long. It's unacceptable. And I make no apology for utilising the private sector and outsourcing a large number of procedures and surgeries to the private sector in order to get things done. And so that's why the elective boost has been put in place.
What is the
we need to
average wait
maximise what is delivered both in the public system.
I think, according to them, it's more than 4 months. I don't know what the average wait time is.
Okay.
I'll Google it.
And in the private system, so that patients can get the care that they need in a timely manner. And that's what we're delivering on. And Health New Zealand is very focused, and we're going to continue that focus into the next financial year.
Another thing he hasn't defined.
This primary is actually on elective boost. You talked about some of the increased procedures that I heard in your initial comments. I think I heard 9,500. How does that track against what you were expecting to get off the waiting list?
Well, we are targeting 10,500 by the end of June. The numbers that we have, I think, are to the 18th of May for the 9,500.
Right.
So we are well on track to deliver against that target. But my focus has been very clear that to Health New Zealand, that target is just the target is to be. My expectation is they should be well outperforming that target and delivering as much as possible. But look, I mean, what we're doing here is not something new. Outsourcing has been part of how elective treatments, hip, knees, cataract operations have been delivered for some time by the health system. What we're doing is we're putting a step change in place to really get on top of those wait lists. The majority of those surgeries have been to people waiting more than 4 months for those surgeries. And so we're just bringing a real focus to getting things done.
So that's
Supplementary.
Supplementary
here and
so
then SUP over here.
Okay, I was looking for 2 SUPs there. But that 4 months waiting list that you referenced, actually, what is that meaning for people who are getting these elective boost surgeries through this program? How much are New Zealanders who have been waiting for such a long time for surgery? How much are they? What's the decrease in waiting time for the individuals that are actually getting these surgeries?
Well, I think it's around 60% or more have been for people waiting more than 4 months.
Right.
And so for people who have been waiting, a long time for, say, a hip surgery or a knee surgery, they've been waiting, in a lot of them in pain. And so being able to speed up the delivery and get them that treatment that they need makes a significant difference in every one individual's life. And I actually make no apology for that fact that we are using the private sector to deliver that. I make no apology for that. We're focused on delivery. And for those patients who are receiving that treatment, they do not care who's delivering it. They want it done, and we're focused on doing it.
Of course. And final SUP on that, Mr. Chair. Is there any other areas? I mean, this has been a success using the efficient private sector to actually deliver some extra surgeries. Is there any other areas that you're looking at that we could utilise what the
Look, my expectation of Health New Zealand is that they utilise and maximise delivery across both the public and private system to deliver within their budget the treatments that New Zealanders expect in relation to our health targets. And so, look, there will always be other areas, but if you look at the health system, there are many public-private partnerships in the health system. Primary practice is a public-private partnership. Aged care is a public-private partnership. So we are simply just delivering what is actually standard practice across a significant portion of our health system with a very clear focus on patients and delivery.
Okay, we've got SUPs from.
Okay, so let's.
Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I've been doing live research while he was spouting on, but yeah, I have real issue with language like maximum delivery and speedy recovery and all that stuff. Like, it's so fucking vague. There's no
All
numbers.
these
there's no-
undefined terms.
Yeah, that's so undefined. And again, he's talking about public-private partnerships. Yeah. So if Brooke Van Velden had turned up today, right, I would have gone into the ACC stuff, okay? Because again, they're facing a 5.8 billion deficit, and a lot of that money goes towards private providers. So the cost of levies for ACC and other stuff is going to go up because of this over reliance on private sector carers, and we've got an aging working population as well. We've also got experienced workers that are leaving the country, so people are getting more injured on the job. You know, this is a fucking train wreck in the works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Get back on
that's
track.
not to
We're
say-
crashing off track.
And that's not to say you can't even use like the private sector just temporarily as a stopgap to at least assist the overload. But you need to invest in the public sector to get it to grow and to get it to actually catch back up. Otherwise, what you're doing is just investing in private and growing the private sector.
That's exactly what they're doing. Going over the documents, and I had to go through over 3 different documents. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just using public money to boost the private sector and transfer as much as they can over to the private sector. The problem is that the private sector can essentially select and choose, like what Dr. Gary Pienda has been saying. They can select and pick what they want to do. And so you get people that have chronic conditions not being seen. And you get this backlog. And because backroom cuts are being made, you know, the conditions are just going to get worse. We could have had more preventative care that was publicly accessible.
Yeah. I mean, here's something from what Blake is saying in the chat here. Blake would be seen as that high-risk case the private sector probably wouldn't want to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd need to take out quite a... I don't know if he's got insurance or not, but, you know...
Would he possibly even get approved?
Because that's what ACC is really supposed to cover for us, with people like Blake. But you've got...
Yeah, but I mean, is Blake's needs injury-related or non-injury? I mean, put it this way. And that's the thing. Injury-related is covered by ACC. Here's one that's not injury-related. Appendicitis. Emergency surgery, but it is not ACC covered. And actually, funny enough, Wins actually asked me, could ACC cover that?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to... That was the next point I was going to go on to. Under Labour, the scope for what ACC covers has widened, which is one of the reasons why we've got this deficit, because workers have not been paying the levies into ACC that they should have. So there's this big deficit gap because care has expanded. We have an aging work population, but the amount that you've got to pay into has not increased.
Yeah.
So we've got this big hole.
Yeah, well, I've got to admit, we do spend a lot on ACC levies. So I've lost count. How much is the ACC levy on a litre of petrol?
Jesus Christ.
Because I know that's probably my biggest contributor to ACC is the amount of money I spend on petrol.
I can have a look.
Yeah.
I didn't actually look up that one.
No, but that to me, that is, I contribute more in petrol than I would pay in payroll and employer deductions.
Well, for a petrol car, well, RNZ has got a thing on it. What is this? EV owners will have their ACC levy increased from 42 in the current year, same as a petrol car, to 109.
Oh, so that's on the actual rego, but I think there might be also ACC levy on the price of petrol. So I'm just oh, that's helpful. That doesn't sit there and answer the question I want to see.
ACC financial sustainability levies and performance. This looks like an interesting document. Let me have a look through this.
I've just had Blake message me.
Yeah, I can hear him messaging you in the background.
Yeah. So Shannon said that the committee that they committed to the end of happening. Brooke did turn up, but she refused to answer any questions whatsoever on pay equity. Did end up happening. Hey, that's all good. My question is, why the hell can we not find it find it on the education workforce page. Is more what I'm annoyed about, not the fact that it's the fact that it's been live streamed we cannot see. But that's beside the point. Thanks for that, Blake. You know, you've kind of at least you know Brooke isn't exactly missing in action. Just her footage is missing in action. Back to what you were saying, Laura.
I'm just putting the document through DeepSeek so it can be scraped through. And I normally hate doing this because I like having time to read through things myself, because I know DeepSeek is not in other AI things, and this is kind of like AI education time. But AI is not really that great at developing accurate summaries.
Yeah.
So just a warning for people that use AI as a part of their work or whatever. So just be aware of that. You want to double check everything that it's doing. But I'm just going to see if I can go through that document to get that information.
It is 6 cents a litre on petrol. I found out on a document from MB. So on the price of a litre of petrol, there is 6 cents goes to ACC, going up to 6.8 cents from the 2025-2026. So that'll be on the 1st of July. 0.8 cents of a litre of petrol price will go up to pay for additional ACC levies.
Yeah, that's what DeepSeek is saying as well. I just got that information.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, because I know I've been for a lot of litres, but I mean also I do put 40,000 Ks on my clock every year on the car. Yeah, so you know there's a fair bit of petrol in there.